Every day, your mind produces around 50,000 thoughts, and studies show 95% of them are the same as yesterday. Same worries, same fears, same self-doubts. Ethan knows this well. At 28, he feels trapped in his own life, repeating the same mistakes, watching his dreams slip away, while wondering why. This isn't just Ethan's story. This is yours too. And it starts in one place, your mind. Today, we'll explore You Become What You Think by Shubham Kumar Singh, a book that shows how your thoughts silently shape your life. By the end of this journey, you'll understand why you can't change your life by willpower alone, and how even someone like Ethan can reprogram his mind to attract success, happiness, and fulfillment. Before we dive deep into this remarkable work, let's know our author. Shubham Kumar Singh has spent years studying human behavior, mindset, and the subconscious mind. In You Become What You Think, he explains complex psychology in simple, actionable ways, blending science, real-life stories, and practical exercises. This book is not just theory. It's a practical guide. By the end, you'll see your thoughts as tools, either building the life you want or silently destroying it. Now let's meet Ethan, a young man who needs a roadmap out of self-sabotage. And for you, it will serve as a mirror, showing how your thoughts are quietly writing the script of your life. Let's begin. Ethan wakes up to another Monday morning. The alarm rings, but he doesn't feel awake. Not really. His mind is already racing. I'm not ready for this. I'll mess it up. Why even try? These thoughts feel normal, but they are not random. They are patterns he has lived with for years. Studies show that the human mind produces 50,000 thoughts every single day. And astonishingly, 95% of those thoughts are the same as yesterday. Ethan didn't know this. He thought life was random, that success or failure was luck, destiny, or the unfairness of the world. But the truth is simpler and more powerful. Your thoughts are quietly creating your reality, every single one. Ethan notices it slowly. One morning, after spilling coffee on his shirt for the third time in a week, he stops. Why do I keep messing up? And for the first time, he doesn't blame the coffee. He doesn't blame traffic or his boss or bad luck. He blames his thinking. Shubham Kumar Singh explains in You Become What You Think that our subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between repeated thoughts and reality. It obeys instructions. I'm not capable. Subconscious obeys hesitation, mistakes, failure. Ethan sees it in his own life. He hesitates at work. He avoids risks. He doubts himself at every turn. But then, Ethan starts noticing small changes around him. A documentary on mindset he watches on TV. A short newspaper article on how thoughts shape behavior. Even a book he flips through at the library, filled with stories of people who change their lives by changing their thinking. Each little insight hits him like a tiny spark. The more he observes, the more he realizes it wasn't luck that held him back. It was his thinking. And maybe, just maybe, he could change that. Because thoughts are not just mental noise. They are seeds. And your mind is the soil. The quality of the seeds determines the harvest. Ethan has been watering weeds, fears, doubts, self-sabotage his entire life. No wonder he feels stuck. But here's the exciting part. Positive, intentional thoughts are just as powerful. They grow when nurtured. And that means change is possible. Ethan starts small. He notices a negative thought. And instead of letting it control him, he pauses. He breathes. He reminds himself, I can try differently today. It's awkward at first. He forgets sometimes. But he starts noticing. The coffee doesn't ruin his morning. The small mistakes don't crush him. Each tiny shift is his mind releasing old patterns. He is planting seeds of new thinking. And every seed slowly changes his reality. But planting seeds isn't enough. There's one reason most people fail. Change. Even when they notice their thoughts. Ethan will learn it soon. And in the next section, so will you, Ethan sits in his small apartment that evening. The city lights flicker outside his window, but inside his mind is loud. Why do I keep failing? He asks quietly. The answer isn't outside him. It's inside, buried deep in his subconscious. Shubham Kumar Singh explains in you, become what you think that the subconscious mind is like a powerful computer, running programs we barely notice. Every habit, every fear, every limitation has been recorded over years of repeated thought. Childhood experiences, school failures, critical parents, society's expectations. All of these form mental programs. Ethan remembers his first big presentation in school. His teacher criticized him harshly. The words, "You're not good enough," echoed in his mind for years. And every time Ethan faces a new challenge as an adult, that same voice whispers again. That's how the subconscious works. It doesn't question reality. It doesn't care if the criticism is decades old. It simply obeys the programs it has been given. And for Ethan, these programs dictate. Don't try too hard. Don't take risks. You will fail. That explains so much. Why Ethan hesitates at work. Why he avoids opportunities. Why, no matter how motivated he feels, he often self-sabotages. But here's the good news Singh emphasizes. The subconscious is programmable. Just like a computer, you can rewrite old programs. Ethan doesn't have to live with the "I'm not enough" program anymore. But first, he has to become aware of it. Awareness is the first step toward change. Over the next few days, Ethan starts paying attention to his thoughts. When negative thoughts arise, he notices them. This is the old program from school. He doesn't judge. He just observes. And slowly, something shifts. Recognition releases the power the old thoughts had over him. Singh explains a critical point. Most people never notice these subconscious programs. They spend their lives blaming circumstances, while their mind silently directs every action. Ethan begins reading short articles on mindset, flipping through motivational books, and watching documentaries on human behavior. Each small insight acts like a reprogramming tool. He writes a simple note. I am capable. I am deserving. I will try again. He repeats it quietly. Slowly, the subconscious begins to accept this new instruction. The change is subtle at first. A smile when a colleague compliments him. Confidence to voice his opinion in a meeting. Small victories, but monumental in the mind's eye. Singh's book teaches that the subconscious mind always obeys. It cannot argue. If you feed it negative thoughts, it acts on them. Feed it positive, intentional thoughts, and your life begins to change. Ethan realizes he has been living as a passive observer of his own mind, but now he can become the active programmer of his reality. But awareness and repetition are just the start. Make change permanent. In the next section, Ethan will learn how to break negative patterns and build new habits that stick. Ethan sits at his desk one evening, notebook open, pen in hand. He's been noticing his thoughts. He's aware of the old programs, the repeated fears, the self-doubt. But awareness alone isn't enough. I know I think negatively, he mutters. But how do I stop it? Shubham Kumar Singh explains, and you become what you think that breaking negative patterns requires more than willpower. Your mind has been following old instructions for years. You can't just tell it, stop thinking this way, and expect change. Instead, you need to interrupt the pattern and replace it with intentional thoughts and actions. Ethan begins small. When a negative thought arises, I'll fail this presentation, he pauses. He writes it down. Then he consciously chooses a replacement thought. I am prepared. I will do my best. At first, it feels forced. His subconscious resists. The old program pushes back, but he persists. Singh calls this pattern interruption. It's the act of catching your thought, stopping it, and consciously inserting a new instruction. Ethan starts noticing small wins. He speaks up in a meeting. He completes a project he would have postponed. He smiles at himself in the mirror, repeating affirmations from the book. I am capable. I am worthy. I can succeed. But change doesn't happen in a straight line. Some days, Ethan falls back into old habits. He procrastinates. He doubts himself. He feels defeated. And that's okay. Singh emphasizes that failure is part of the process. It's feedback, not a verdict. To reinforce change, Ethan adds small routines. Morning reflection on positive thoughts, evening journaling about successes, reading short, inspiring stories, watching a motivational video or documentary. Each action is a seed planted. Each seed slowly overrides the old negative programs. The book teaches a critical principle. Repetition plus awareness equals transformation. Ethan realizes this is why people often fail despite knowing they think negatively. They don't repeat the new pattern enough. They forget to reinforce the change. But awareness, interruption, and repetition are just the foundation. To truly transform, Ethan must shift his identity, not just his thoughts. In the next section, he will discover identity-based thinking, where the mind stops fighting him and starts working for him. Days turn into weeks. Ethan has been observing his thoughts, interrupting old patterns, planting new seeds, journaling, repeating affirmations, watching short documentaries on mindset, and yet something is missing. One evening, sitting on his balcony, watching the city lights, he thinks aloud, I'm doing all the steps, but I still feel like the old me. That's when he remembers a key idea from you, become what you think. To change your life, you must first change your identity, not just your thoughts, not just your habits, your self-image. Ethan has been thinking, I will try to succeed. But now he realizes trying isn't enough. The old, I'm not enough, identity still lives inside him. His subconscious still thinks he is incapable. And the subconscious always obeys the identity, not the thought. So, Ethan asks himself a powerful question. Who do I want to be? He doesn't answer with goals. He answers with identity. I am confident. I am capable. I am someone who takes action, no matter the fear. Singh explains that when your identity aligns with your thoughts, your subconscious no longer resists. Change becomes natural, effortless. The mind starts working for you, not against you. Ethan decides to act as if he already embodies this identity. When he wakes up, he tells himself, I am a confident person. I approach life with clarity and courage. At work, he speaks up without hesitation. He tackles a project he would have avoided before. He even asks for feedback from colleagues, not with fear, but with curiosity. Small victories stack into bigger ones. Confidence becomes habit. Courage becomes instinct. The old Ethan, who doubted himself at every step, slowly fades. Singh's book highlights that identity shift is the ultimate key to transformation. You can't simply think positive thoughts and expect your life to change. Your thoughts must reflect the person you already are becoming. Ethan repeats this daily. I am capable. I am deserving. I am unstoppable. And the subconscious listens. It obeys. It aligns. And slowly, Ethan becomes a person he imagined. But transformation is not instantaneous. Some days, old fears resurface. Some days, doubts creep back. And that's part of the process. Because identity shift is not a single moment. It is a journey. Every choice, every repeated thought, every action reinforces a new identity. Ethan now sees clearly. He is no longer reacting to his fears. He is responding from a place of strength. The final stage is living this new reality fully. It's one thing to think like your new identity. It's another to live it, even when the world tests you. In the next section, Ethan will experience his first true test, and you'll see how these lessons can transform your life too. Ethan steps out into the world a little differently now. The familiar streets, the same office, even a small apartment, all feel the same on the surface, but he is not the same inside. The person who once hesitated, doubted, and feared every step has shifted. He notices the subtle differences first. He speaks with more confidence. He walks taller. He makes decisions without the paralyzing fear that once dominated him. He realizes that the thoughts he chooses each day are no longer random. They are deliberate, intentional, and aligned with the person he wants to become. Shubham Kumar Singh emphasizes in the book that the final stage of transformation comes when your thoughts, actions, and identity all align. It is no longer enough to simply think positively or break old patterns. You must live as if the new identity is already real. Ethan has started doing this naturally. The nervous hesitations of his past no longer control him. The old fears that whispered, "You are not capable," are drowned out by the repeated affirmations of his conscious mind. I am capable. I am deserving. I will take action. These statements are no longer just words. They are instructions his subconscious obeys without resistance. Over the next few weeks, Ethan notices the changes compounding. Tasks he would have avoided are now approached with curiosity and determination. Meetings he once dreaded become opportunities to contribute. Challenges that used to paralyze him now inspire him to find creative solutions. Even small daily interactions, from casual conversations to phone calls, carry a new energy, a confidence that radiates from within. His mind, once his enemy, has become his most powerful ally. Ethan also realizes that transformation is not about perfection. Some days are still difficult. Old doubts sometimes creep in, and he notices them without judgment. He acknowledges them, then consciously redirects his thoughts toward his new identity. The key, as Singh explains, is persistence and repetition. The more consistently Ethan lives as the person he wants to be, the more his subconscious aligns, making the new identity permanent. Soon, Ethan begins to see results that go beyond his internal world. His work improves, and people start noticing his new approach. Opportunities he had never pursued before now feel accessible. His relationships deepen because he interacts from a place of self-assuredness rather than fear or insecurity. Life begins to mirror the thoughts and identity he has cultivated intentionally. The transformation is not instantaneous, but it is undeniable. By the end of this journey, Ethan fully embodies the principles of the book. He understands that he becomes what he thinks, and that reality is a reflection of the identity he chooses to live every day. He is no longer trapped by old patterns or subconscious programs. Instead, he is actively shaping his life through deliberate thoughts, consistent actions, and a reinforced sense of self. And for you listening, the lesson is clear. Just like Ethan, your life is a reflection of your thoughts and your identity. You have the power to interrupt old patterns, reprogram your subconscious, and live as the person you want to be. Transformation is available to anyone willing to observe, redirect, and embody the change. Your thoughts are your most powerful tool. The moment you start choosing them consciously is the moment your reality begins to change. You followed Ethan's journey, seen how his thoughts shaped his reality, and watched him transform by consciously choosing new patterns and identities. Now, let's highlight the key lessons from you become what you think that you can apply to your own life. Key takeaways. 1. Your thoughts create your reality. Every thought, repeated daily, becomes a program that guides your life. Being aware of them is the first step to change. 2. The subconscious mind obeys. Your subconscious doesn't argue or judge. It simply follows the patterns you feed it. Negative thoughts reinforce limitations, while positive, intentional thoughts build success. 3. Awareness alone is enough. You must notice old patterns, interrupt them, and consciously insert new, constructive thoughts. 4. Repetition builds change. Repeating positive thoughts, affirmations, and actions consistently rewires your subconscious and solidifies new habits. 5. Identity shift is critical. To truly change, you must become the person who embodies the life you want. Thinking positively isn't enough. Your identity must align with your desired reality. 6. Transformation is a journey. Some days will be difficult. Old doubts may resurface. Persistence, patience, and self-compassion are key to making change permanent. Just like Ethan, you have the power to release old limitations, consciously program your thoughts, and step into a life that reflects your true potential. Your mind is the most powerful tool you own. Use it intentionally. If this audiobook shifted your perspective, gave you clarity, or inspired you to take action, there's so much more like this waiting for you. Subscribe to this channel for more transformative content that guides you step by step in shaping your mindset, mastering your thoughts, and creating the life you desire. Remember, change begins with one conscious thought, and your journey starts today.